Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Friday, April 9th. Things are really heating up in the Russia-Ukraine-US situation. I'm going to talk about that, but that is the thing we have to be worried about. And that is a big worry. That is a huge worry, not just for the markets, and that would crush the markets if we get a war going there, but also just for global stability. This is a really serious thing. I'm going to talk about that in a second. We had the PPI, producer prices, this morning up 1%. That was way higher than forecast. I think they were looking up 0.5. And Powell made some comments. Look, I'm with him. I mean, I really think that the rise in prices has been as a result of the pandemic. And, we know this to be true. I mean, this is all a factor of supply chain disruptions, reduced output, demand still pretty high because of the stimulus. These are one-time events. I mean, the prices are going to come down. I mean, you saw today the 10-year bond yield, the 10-year treasury yield barely budged. We went up a couple of basis points. That's it. I mean, it hardly moved at all. Gold was actually lower, although, I'm one of the few people around who will tell you that gold is not an inflation hedge. It's a growth commodity. I mean, when economic growth is strong, you're going to see gold prices rise. When economic growth is weak, you're going to see gold prices go down. So I'm not surprised at the pullback. I'm also not surprised at the fact that we did rally up to 17.55 yesterday. I mean, I've been saying over the last 4 weeks, gold producers have been buyers of gold futures. Now that's a rarity. You usually don't see that. I mean, you see that happening at times when the gold supply, the physical gold supply, becomes tight. I mean, these guys. Look, I traded commodities my whole career. I was a member of 4 exchanges. I traded gold on the COMEX, back in the late 80s, early 90s. I know a little bit about it. You don't fade the producers. I mean, they're the most savvy when it comes to understanding their own commodity that they deal in. And, the last 4 weeks, they've been aggressively buying. They have the smallest net short position in 2 years. So, I mean, that tells you a lot right there because, they're short naturally as a hedge. I mean, they produce the metal, so they sell futures contracts to lock in their price. And when they cut their short position down like that, dramatically like that, they're telling you that the market is tight. Anyway, you had a little bit of a pullback in gold today, but if you're buying gold as an inflation hedge, that's not always going to work out. I mean, there's going to be times when the mass, the crowd, buys into this idea and they may all run into it, but and buy it. But usually when you see that, that's not going to be a lasting move higher in gold. That's people who have a certain belief about how gold should behave and then they jump into it, but it's not a sustainable thing. But when you see producers, acting in the way they have, that's bullish. Anyway, the Russian-Ukraine situation is very, very frightening. Putin now has 100,000 Russian troops on the Ukraine border. He is there to protect ethnic Russians who live in eastern Ukraine who are coming under the attack of the Ukrainian military. The United States government officially, the White House officially, the military here in the U.S. is officially on the side of Ukraine. And why wouldn't they? I mean, Biden and his whole family made all their illicit money there. So of course he's going to support that country. The U.S. now, I just read this, is sending, I believe it's 2 warships into the Black Sea. And you have to understand something about that region. The Black Sea is sometimes referred to as the Russian lake. Russia considers that its territory. I mean, if you want to have an analogy to this whole thing, if Chinese troops were amassing on the border of Mexico and Texas, or Mexico and California, or if, I don't know, Iranian troops were amassing on the border of Canada, you better believe that the U.S. military or the United States response would be to beef up military presence in that area, if not to go all out and take out that military presence from, the enemy as we see them. So you better believe that. And if the Russia or China sent warships into the Great Lakes, what do you think the reaction on the part of the U.S. government would be? What do you think the reaction on the part of the White House would be? So you have to really understand this and the perspective involved here. I mean, this is an incredibly dangerous provocation. And look, the markets may be overbought, and I've been talking about, bullish sentiment through the roof. Fiscal is highly supportive, so bullish sentiment doesn't really mean that much. But if a war breaks out, we will see, and all of those of you who've been sitting around, cheering, you can't wait for everything to crash. And I know there's a lot of you like that. For some reason, so negative. You just want the whole thing to go down the tubes. We deserve it. It's got to crash. Everything is a bubble. You're going to get your wish if the war breaks out. I'm just telling you that right now. And I'm hoping, I'm praying that all of this is just bluster, okay? But Putin looks like he's not fooling around this time. And I don't blame him, frankly. All right, anyway, that's it. I'll update you over the weekend. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader. I will be sending out emails probably related to this subject. So you're going to want to keep up with that. Have a great rest of the Friday. And check my emails tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow I'm doing a 30-mile walk. That's in preparation for my Grand Canyon rim-to-rim hike in May. So hopefully I'll still get to do a video tomorrow. I'm going to try to do it. Bye.